Hello everyone, welcome into another match of the CALLOUS Invitational. I'm Dekzeh, I was a guest narrator last year, and apparently people liked me enough that they wanted me back. So even though I haven't really played competitively in I don't even know how long, I'll try my best to give you a good commentary. We have a match here for the play-ins round of 8 in the Aqua bracket between Bushtush and Stratos. Bushtush, non-Smogon player, plays a bunch of different gens, competent in everything. Not really a Gen 3 player, but definitely competent when it comes to it. And kind of the same for Stratos, like originally a VGC and doubles player, also dips into singles formats, plays a little bit of everything here and there. And yeah, good players, as you would expect from the quality in this tournament. So let's just go right into game 1. See a Smeargle lead from Bushtush, already pretty cool, and a Swampert from Stratos. Smeargle just, to me, always indicates Spike's offense with Aerodactyl, Tyranitar, Gengar, and then 2 fillers. We see Sub, that's the standard on Smeargle nowadays. It's Sub, Spikes, Spore, and neither Explosion, Endeavor, or Whirlwind. So it just gets 1 layer. And subs up on the Dragon Dance Tyranitar from Stratos. Bushtush probably has some way of handling this, which we'll see. Goes for the second layer, and Tyranitar goes for the second Dragon Dance. That Tyranitar could definitely be a threat. But we see a Swampert, that's definitely offensive Swampert. Either Leftovers, 3 special attacks, Focus Punch, or Sub Endeavor. Both make sense in builds like this. So it's gonna take a lot from this Earthquake. As in like 80% or so. Or HP Grass, which is around the same damage. And we see a Roar, so it's probably Endeavor. Does not get Leftovers, subs up to the Salak Berry, yep. Oh, Stratos wakes up there. That was pretty fortunate, honestly. If he stayed asleep there, this Swampert may have gotten at least 2 kills. Assuming Stratos even has something faster in the back. And there we go, the Aerodactyl. So just getting the Endeavor on the Swampert, which is the main rock resist in most teams it's part of, is really good. Now Aerodactyl and definitely Dragon Dance Tyranitar in the back, those are gonna go crazy here. It's possible that Stratos, not even possible, it's very likely that Stratos has a backup rock resist in the back, because he seems to be running some sort of balance. Metagross, Jirachi makes sense, maybe even something like Flygon. Should see just Swampert dying here, yeah. And we see a Gengar switching. Not ideal, but I mean, teams like Bushtush's offensive squad really struggle to switch into Gengar. We see here that Gengar used Will-O-Wisp. Oh, and he missed. Well, 2 things from this turn. Aerodactyl actually sub Leech Berry in this build instead of Choice Band. Makes sense, being popular. And yeah, like I was saying, Gengar is really hard for squads like this to switch into. So it's really huge, that's probably gonna die here. Lucky break for Bushtush there, but yeah, just getting the Gengar out of the way is really good for him. And then we see the sub, yes, it's sub Leechy, as I was saying, and Explosion from Gengar. I guess if you're going out anyway, may as well explode. Then we see Aerodactyl on Aerodactyl. And a Metagross from Bushtush. I was kind of expecting that from Stratos, but it works either way. So Stratos has a little bit more of an offensive squad than I thought. No, never mind, it is the balance. It is more of a balanced squad. Jirachi should always handle Metagross here, especially if you're switching into it, and it's mixed Metagross. Does have Earthquake though, so never mind. It's not even a Fire Punch in Jirachi, and it takes a lot. You go Gengar on the Thunder. Maybe he was trying to call a switch there, but yeah, that's exactly the shell that I brought up, right? On Spike's offense, you definitely want Aerodactyl, and there's gonna be a Tyranitar last. The Metagross is the odd one out here. And Gengar, Aerodactyl, Tyranitar are just always a given. I mean, it's gonna be really hard for Stratos to not get swept by Dragon Dance, Tyranitar, or Aerodactyl. His last one has to be something that really helps with Zapdos. So I mean, if it's a Flygon, he's probably in a good position. But if it was a Flygon, it probably would have come out by now. It's not a Blissey. I guess we'll see what it is. Maybe Stratos can try to go for a win with his own Tyranitar, but Gengar should to hit kill here. If he has Giga Drain, he does. In squad like this usually does. Maybe it's Jolly Tyranitar, or maybe it's just a slow Gengar. He kind of has to go for it, and Tyranitar does outspeed, so... But Aerodactyl Revenge is here. Stratos is trying to play as best as he can for his outs, but... Not sure if he can. He gets the Tyranitar on the double. If you're doing that, why not just Earthquake? I guess you don't want to give the Aerodactyl a free sub. Makes sense. But you do not kill Metagross. And you're trying to go for the Rock Slide win. Maybe you think you can flinch down Tyranitar here. Okay, you just gotta stay in and go for the flinches, right? I guess you need like 2 flinches. Depends on what your last mon. I think you just have to go for it, because there's no way his last mon here even beats Tyranitar. And this thing is Dragon Dancing for sure. Oh yeah, Celebit's not... He should have just Rock Slided there. Right? Like, his win con was just Rock Sliding. I guess maybe he's hoping this Tyranitar doesn't have HP bug. Seems unlikely. He's just gonna Dragon Dance again and win. Take a Giga Drain. Does not do enough, even a crit wouldn't have done it. I guess Stratos can play for Rock Slide misses. Maybe. We see the HP bug, kills the Celebi, and Aerodactyl comes out. Rock Slide just hits, and it's over. Wow, really cool showcase of Smeargle Spike's offense. This is one of my favorite archetypes. I just love fast-paced Smeargle teams. Not a fan of the Metagross as much here, especially not mixed Metagross, but it worked out really well, I guess. And Stratos is just a balanced build. Kind of the type of team that this offense preys on the most. Because you just overwhelm the rock resists. But yeah, let's jump into game number 2. We see a Tyranitar Mirror Lead. I love those. Just shows who has the most balls. Or I mean, who has the set most well prepared for the mirror. Normally you only stay in if you have Brick Break, if you're fast, if you're Choice Banded, Earthquake. But yeah. We see a Skarmory from Stratos and a Brick Break. That's definitely mixed Tyranitar from Bushtush. Then a Flamethrower or Fire Blast here for sure. As we see the Flamethrower. And Stratos probably gonna have to reveal something else. As we see a Flygon. Flygon would have been really good in the previous match, so maybe that's one of the reasons he brought a defensive Flygon here. See a Toxic on Claydol, good call. Probably refresh Claydol though, I guess. And Venusaur. Could have just gone hard Venusaur. That Toxic was kinda expected. We see that Venusaur's faster than Flygon, so yeah, definitely very bulk Flygon. And Venusaur normally pairs with Moltres or Charizard. And ideally Spikes. We see a Moltres from Stratos though. That's interesting. Probably gonna have a Moltres mirror maybe. And Skarmory on the Charizard, okay. So neither team looks well prepared to take on the opposing fire type here. And that's probably gonna be the deciding factor in this matchup. Although we haven't seen much, but those are not the kind of teams that are gonna be having like Blissey, or I mean what even takes on fire types well. Yeah, kinda just Blissey. We see a Crunch on the Metagross, switching from the Charizard. But the thing is, you just gotta get every turn right? And here... This may look like a winning matchup for Tyranitar, but it actually is a winning matchup for Moltres, because it's just faster, hits harder. Tyranitar very unlikely to have Rock Slides here. Let's see how this goes. Will-O-Wisp miss. Don't like the Will-O-Wisp, very likely to be a Lump Tyranitar here. And Pursuit for Tyranitar. Ooh, and then a Crunch. Okay, so I guess he played around the Pursuit as well as he could there. I suppose that's fine. Jirachi on the Tyranitar. I guess this Tyranitar is a little annoying for Stratos with the Sleeping Flygon. But he wishes back the Moltres. Okay, this turn... I mean, not this turn necessarily, but like... The upcoming turns could be very important for this match. As in like, whoever wins this mirror. Because like I said, neither team seems well prepared to take on those fire types. Neither team seems to have the speed tier to do it either. We see that the Moltres is faster than Charizard. Which is really good, and it just means that Bushtush is not fully invested. Let's hit play. Yeah, they're gonna be dealing similar damage to each other. One thing that Bushtush can do here is just like take the Flamethrowers and kill with the Blaze boosted Flamethrower in the end. Like, oh, he goes for the overhit here. But I mean, that still works, right? Because look, he's taking 30 something from Flamethrower. If he takes another Flamethrower, goes for the overhit, in Blaze is gonna kill the Moltres. The problem is then he gets pursued by Tyranitar. But the thing is, no matter how this matchup ends, either side is gonna be risking to pursue Tyranitar. Do you take the trade here? This seems to be the main way that both sides can break through each other. This is interesting for sure. Maybe the Moltres has overhit and then it just kills. We see a Tyranitar switch hard on Flamethrower. 50-50 Pursuit or Crunch here. Let's see what happens. Pursuit may put it into Sandstorm range, right? We see a Pursuit. Oh, just barely out of Sandstorm range. That was huge. I think if Bushtush got that kill there, he probably won. He probably went for the Pursuit thinking Sand Chip would be enough to kill. We see the pivot, Metagross into Gyarados. That pivot makes no sense because Gyarados takes about the same damage from Flamethrower and HP Grass. And HP Grass cannot burn. Don't know what that was about. But Gyarados should force the Moltres out. You want to preserve that. We see a Gengar switch from Stratos. Okay, this seems kind of weird when there's a Skarmory, right? But the thing is, I think Stratos was trying to play around the Charizard double. Because whenever Charizard comes out, it's gonna kill something. And the same is kinda true for Moltres. Yeah, so I like the Gengar. It was a really good mid-ground there. And if Gyarados ever Dragon Dances, you still have the safe Skarmory. See Thunderbolt on Venusaur. This is a matchup that's very neutral. Could go either way. I think both might stay in here. We see an Ice Punch, dealing good damage, and a Leech Seed. Gengar probably swaps out now. The question is just into what? Maybe Jirachi or Moltres. Jirachi on an HP Fire. Interesting that Venusaur is faster here. He could try to push for the kill. Or he could go hard Charizard. I like that as well. Charizard on the Protect would have been huge. So Charizard probably getting a kill here, right? You just click Overhit. No, the Tyranitar is alive. I wonder if this has Focus Punch. Probably not. It's probably beat up, right? We see the Hidden Power Grass on the switch, confirming pretty much that it doesn't have Focus Punch, otherwise just go for that. So it should be beat up Charizard. And the same thing happened just on the other side now. That is so cool. Kind of this mirror, Tyranitar plus Fire Flying type. And both sides tried to pursue it and failed. And yeah, now this Charizard is in Blaze, it's ready to kill everything with a Flamethrower. And it's just a Tyranitar that goes down. But now the Moltres comes out, and the Moltres is also threatening everything. At this point, you can't really go hard Gyarados. You sacrifice the Metagross, I suppose that makes sense. And then you force it out with Gyarados. Bushtush needs to start making plays to win just because his team is much slower. His Fire type is lower, and he doesn't have a Gengar. Oh, that was good. That was a good turn by both. Bushtush trying to get the Charizard double on the Skarmory, and Stratos going for that mid-ground that I talked about earlier and going Gengar instead, because Gengar would still 1v1 the Gyarados and covers that Charizard double. And if Gyarados ever Dragon Dances, you just go hard Skarmory. So well played by Stratos there. And we see an Ice Punch in Clado that was free. Everything is getting chipped down into Gengar range. It's not looking good at all for Bush here. We see the Jirachi onto the Charizard double. That's the kind of play that Bush needs to make to win. He's gonna get a kill here. And as long as he stay ahead in the sec game, maybe he has a chance. If this Gyarados is taunt, that could just win in the end, but I think that's unlikely for now. See an overhit killing a family of Jirachis, honestly. Del 1 and all of its kids. Moltres on Charizard, forces it out, sacks the Venusaur. Back to Gyarados just has to be, right? If this was Dragon Dance Taunt, it would have won. I guess it depends on the set, but probably wouldn't. But it's probably just not Dragon Dance Taunt. That's just not a set. We see Clado on the Toxic. That's just a sad move. You Dragon Dance and you switch out, and then you try to get a Charizard in, it gets Toxic. Don't wanna count it earlier, but it looks like it's over to me. Although this Tyranitar maybe could do something. It's Lumberry. We see a Flygon swap. This Flygon sleeps forever. Crunch. Special. Okay, if this Flygon stays asleep and you kill it here, I guess then Stratos go to Moltres, and then you have to go Gyarados after, and it's still a bad situation. The Kaleido switch though, what was that about? Can't say that I agree with that. But then again, I can't see a winning path regardless. Yeah, I think it's just over for Bushtush at this point. Unless he reveals the late game DD taunt Gyarados, it should be over, right? We're just going through the motions here. Skarmory gets spikes down, it's gonna put this Tyranitar into Gengar range, which is good. Gengar is very close to cleaning up, right? The Kaleido took 36% previously from Ice Punch, it's at 39 plus Toxic. It's actually dead. So the second Gengar comes in, it wins. Anything that Bush could do? No. We see that as HP Rock Gyarados, but just not gonna cut it here. Charizard being sacrificed for Toxic. And Tyranitar now in Gengar range. You could just go hard Moltres here, let the Moltres die and win with Gengar. He instead just stays in, roars out. I guess the outcome is gonna be the same, but I mean, honestly, if he got crit there, no, then just go Gengar and win. Yeah, it's just over, right? We see that Tyranitar was in fact Lumberry, as I expected. And now we see the Moltres sack into Gengar win. Well played by Stratos. He really had the advantage mainly because his fire type was faster, and he also had the Gengar for the speed advantage. Really slow team by Bushtush. When your fastest Pokemon is a Charizard that's not even max speed, it's just slow, right? And just a team that slow without a good Gengar answer, it's just asking to be rolled over. And well played by Stratos, tying up the match 1-1. But let's just jump into game 3 with no delay at all. We see Milo on Tyranitar. Milo kind of a boring lead, sometimes just don't have nothing better though. Toxic on Blissey. Makes sense. And both players just like testing the water, see what happens here. Surf and Seismic Toss. Maybe either side trying to call out a switch, and we see a Doug Trio. Blissey does stay in, this is huge. If this Doug Trio is EV'd to leave an Ice Beam, or if Blissey doesn't even have Ice Beam, and it stays around like Revenge Tyranitar and whatever else Stratos may have in the back, this is already a huge advantage for Bushtush. Let's see what happens here. Could also be Counter Bliss and beat up Doug. We see just the Earthquake and we see just the Ice Beam killing the Doug Trio, wow. That's not usual, but I guess it happens. And Zapdos without a Blissey, probably gonna be annoying. We see a Focus Punch Tyranitar, is that a choice band? We see a crit, but it's not choice band. So probably leftovers for attacks, which tends to get walled by Milo, unless you're faster and you can get a flinch or two. But Milo is normally pretty safe against it. Not much to say about Stratos team, I haven't seen much. You see a Skarmory, it makes sense with the Blissey. And Bushtush, what could he have in the back? Definitely gonna have to have something for those spikes, right? With Doug Trio and Skarmory. See a Starmie from Stratos. I'm imagining that Bush has a good answer to that, like a Blissey or something like that. And Thunderbolt normally indicates offensive Starmie. We do see a Blissey, okay. Does it spin? It pumps. And it could spin now on the obvious soft boiled. Just go Tyranitar, trying to push in damage. With spikes down, the Milo on Tyranitar matchup becomes worse and worse. If you focus punch it here, with spikes down. But instead we see a Kaleido, huh? I guess Stratos just needs to push damage through on this Kaleido, but instead he switches out into Swampert. Very passive move there. I think I would just have taken the HP bug damage, unless he doesn't have that. Because it could also be a Roar Tyranitar, right? That's what I'm assuming it is right now. No HP bug, but Roar. Toxic on Milo is gonna refresh up, and right now Milo just 1v5s what Stratos has, if it comes down to it, you know? Not saying you should do it, but right now it kinda does if it needs to. And spikes down for both sides. I wonder if Stratos has a... I mean, I guess has a Starmie. But it's offensive Starmie. Pump, Thunderbolt, Spin Recover is not really a set. It's probably 3 attack spin, which is gonna get warmed down. Bushtush looks like he has the better late game. You see a Gengar with 3 layers, could always put in a shift. Could be, we see Will-O-Wisp, could be Will-O-Wisp Boom, Will-O-Wisp Taunt. You could have many different ways of dealing with Blissey. We see Bush going for the Zapdos, kind of as a mid-ground, trying to preserve the Blissey because the Starmie is a threat. Makes sense. And Swampert in on the Thunderbolt. I guess we don't know much about the Zapdos. I wonder if this is defensive. If you're switching in on Gengar like that, it's likely to be. And you're down to stay in like when you're burned in front of a Swampert. Okay, we see a switch to Milo on a Surf. Oh, this looks like Refresh Pert, right? Yep. But Milo looks like a... Oh, it's Roar. Okay. What do you do here? Do you just take the damage to spin? I guess that's what Bush does. Is this also Refresh Doll? Refresh, Milo Refresh Doll? Possible. Skarmory gotta get them back up. This looks like a game that's gonna be close. We see Thunderbolt from Blissey. Not very common. Is it a Calm Minder? Or just a Thunderbolter? This is good because it prevents Starmie from spinning on Blissey. Ice Beam on the Swampert, I like that, just chipping it down. And with only 1 layer, the Swampert's not that big of a threat. Yeah, just chip it down. It's taking too much damage. Could just safely go Milo, but if you get doubled, it's bad. I mean, but doubled into what? Gengar, maybe? Not even bad. Yeah, Bushtush looks good right now. Stratos needs his layers back up. I guess he's gonna try to get rid of his layers by rapid spinning onto the Milo. But Bliss is just gonna come up and like... I guess we can go hard Tyranitar there. Try to push damage with Thunderbolts. I think Bush is playing this correctly by trying to have his Milo at full health. Also kinda playing around that double to Tyranitar on the Blissey is good. Ooh, the Para not so good. And the Toxic on Starmie... He needs to have Recover that turn. Is he just staying in now? He gets the Recover off. This is stressful even for me, and I don't even have a side in this matchup. Okay, Starmie switches out. Stratos decides to not push that issue. And I guess just refresh here. You don't want your Milo paralyzed. I guess you want your Milo paralyzed? I wouldn't do that. But what can I do? Because like, with layers down and the Tyranitar could flinch it, I guess we're assuming that Claydol just always beats Tyranitar, but that's also toxic, so... I'm not too sure about it. Very ballsy move there, willing to get the Skarmory burned. It's probably a Drill Pecker. Both are. And a Claydol on the Will-O-Wisp. This is a very interesting matchup. Bushtush should have the better long game, but he kinda struggles against Gengar depending on the set. Okay, he's just weakening the Claydol. We can guarantee that this does not have Refresh by now. And Ice Punch should be a 2-hit kill from here. Oh, it is Refresh. But everything taking damage is good for Tyranitar. We see a Freeze and a Thaw out, and a Psychic on Gengar that creates... What the fuck is this turn? Ice Punch, Freeze into immediate, Thaw into Psychic crit? I guess the fact that Blissey can touch Gengar made it not as much of a threat, but like, Zapdos is low. Imagine this Gengar just blows up on the Blissey, and then like, Starmie is a demon. The Milo is paralyzed right now. Wow. I don't know how to feel about that. Definitely lucky for Bushtush, because Gengar was annoying. And now Claydol can still spin. We studied this HP bug Tyranitar. So I don't like him switching that one out earlier. I mean, are we doing this? Because if I'm doing this, I'm going fast. Okay, well played with the crit there. Very well played. Does this primary health matter? Like, how and who's winning this endgame? I don't know. Right now, I'm just vibing and watching. Blissey is healthy. Starmie can get a desperate rapid spin here. Okay, I guess it's not desperate because he got it on the switch. That was good. Time to go Tormentor and push the issue. Yeah, nothing wants to take a focus punch here. This is the thing. You just fish for flinches, right? Just rock slide it. Just go for it. What's the worst that could happen? You don't get it? Yeah, rock slide it. Never lucky. Okay. I mean, if that was me piloting the Milo, I would have gotten flinched. Milo is now healthy and unstatused, so the Tyranitar is no longer a threat. The Swampert no longer a threat, it never was. The Starmie is not a threat. I guess Stratos wins by critting the Milo on the switch. I mean, I can see another way. I can see another way. It's a very passive squad, like... I guess maybe Gengar had Explosion and that's one way of pushing damage, like you explode the Gengar on the Blissey and then Starmie starts to be really annoying. But as it is right now, he just can't push damage through Milo and Blissey, and Milo's just gonna sit there forever and 1v1 everything. Milo just 1v1s everything from here. See a Roar. Bush's Karma is faster, so that's gonna get a faster Roar if he wants to. I think the only way Stratos wins is by getting a crit focus punch on a Milo switch. I can't see another way. I just can't see another way. But I guess he has like a lot of opportunities to do so. Like here. Nope. And then he just recovers back up. I don't like that focus punch because even a crit there wouldn't do it. And then Milo is faster, but I guess it would have done. I mean, he's playing for his ult, he's trying to get crits. I can see a better play. The rock slide makes not much sense. Yeah, Bush is playing it safe, just always keeping the Milo at full health. Eventually he's gonna get a spin-off. Oh, he gets the crit but with the wrong move. That one does not matter much. That's unfortunate for him. You see Starmie. Blissey is healthy. And that one layer does not matter much. He just stays in with the Milo to get the Surf, and Starmie dies to Sand. At this point it should be over, right? Milo just never has to switch out again. Oh, when he creates the Skarmory. Gets the Claydol. Yep. And Stratos just sees it and forfeits, because from this point on you just click Rapid Spin and then you go Milo Tick and you never switch out, because you 1v1 everything. Tough matchup for Stratos, what a way to go, but congrats to Bushtush for staying in the tournament. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what I can improve. I'll be narrating games every week here, trying to get back in touch with the competitive Pokemon scene. I'll see you guys probably next week. Goodbye.